We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig. You decide when you lose, not other people. And Blab.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollersPodcast.com. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Better than Craig. Yellow Flash, you relax in the chat. I see you causing all sorts of chaos. Always Blab's fault. Always. We all understand that. It's always Blab's fault. Great to see everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is hump day indeed. And we have so much to talk about. I was going to say so much humping to talk about, but I don't want to go there. That'd been really weird. But it appears that YouTubers have been doing a lot of hump talking, which has been very inappropriate if I try to segue my way out of that. Which I won't be able to. With that said, why y'all so weird? Stop being weird. Speaking of weird, hi Blabs.
It's not my fault. I didn't do it. Yellow Flash, you suck. The end.
Yeah.
Ow, I'm laying down the law.
That a girl, Blabs. Way to go. How's everything going? How's your Wednesday?
It's going good. It's currently downpouring, so yay.
Singing in the rain.
I've never actually done that. I kind of wish I should. I should just do it one day. Like,
Right now.
No, I'm wearing a white shirt.
I'm
Absolutely
going to
not.
drop the sweet $100 right now. You go outside and you just go start singing in the rain. How's
I'll
that?
just live stream from my phone in the woods and get attacked by mosquitoes. It'll be fine. Yeah, I'll get like malaria or some shit. It's fine.
Yeah. Yes, Blabs, you're going to get malaria.
What? There's so many disgusting bugs out there.
It's considerably dangerous in Guam this time of year, isn't it?
It is. So you get attacked by bugs and spiders and bears. Oh my.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, someone who probably isn't attacked by bugs and spiders and bears.
Well, he has a sword. It's fine. He'll just chop them off.
It's every other Wednesday, which means it's time for Arch. Let's go.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing fine. We don't have bears around here yet.
No bears?
No bears. Only Wolverines.
I'll tell you, last time we were on a show together was on your show, correct? It was a couple Saturdays ago. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Yes.
I saw a side of you that I just didn't know. I didn't know was out there. And I'll tell you what, it was an interesting side, buddy. I'll tell you that much.
See, Yellow Flash will dance in the rain for $100.
I too will dance in the rain for $100. I'm just saying, like,
you guys gotta up your game.
Dude,
it's so easy for $100. Let me just go dance in the rain, all frivolous and happy.
No, nobody said anything about doing it happy.
You gonna angry dance in the rain? I'm angry. Watch him do like the floss really mad.
just
really pouting.
The entire time. I can't even do the floss. I just see like 8-year-olds doing that still. Archie, can you do the floss?
I don't even know what the floss is.
He's like dental flossing. Of course, everybody does that. It's good for your gums.
That a boy, Arch. Let's go. Arch doesn't know what the floss is, and I love that about Arch.
I only learned what the floss was like 2 years ago. Does that count?
Close enough.
A little late to the game. Not as late as Arch, which I appreciate. So, well, look, we have a great show today. We have so much to talk about, and it starts with we have a lot of gaming stuff to talk about today, a lot of quick hits, but we have two of the biggest entertainers in the world that are not Mr. Beast, non-Mr. Beast related stories today. Actually, three of the biggest entertainers in the world are had some news drop. One can't handle any sort of criticism. The other fired his coworker for good reason. And the third may be jumping back in the deep end. So we'll get into all that here today. We got a lot to talk about. With that said, I'd like to remind you guys once again, we are live over on Rumble. Join us over there at rumble.com/sidescrollers if you like that free speech and all that stuff. We also have an X account where you could have found out that Arch was going to be on the show. You can also find clips and stuff, and you can watch the show over at x.com/sidescrollers. Speaking of social media, we also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do post memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, Craig's going to dance in the rain happy.
No, that will not happen at all. You know what I will do is I will welcome Valkyria Winter with a $50 Rumble.
Do the Beardo thing. Make it your own. $50. Yay! Better.
$50?
No, just don't do the Beardo thing. Just our own thing. 50, 50, 50.
Oh no, Beardo's is 50.
Well, it's retarded. Let's do boobs in 50s. Happiness.
There you go.
Where's the boobs?
Blabs, don't tell us you're wearing a white top when it's rain talk. So much goes through our minds with that one. Hail to Archie, sweet man. Now for jiggles and always skull. Yeah, Valkyrie, don't make it weird. Well, thank you very much. That is incredibly wonderful. $50 super chat. That is.
Wait, can we do like a Bugs Bunny version? Because that kind of reminded me of Bugs Bunny a little bit.
And no, Blabs. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs? Did you already tell you this? We did.
Yes.
We also have a Kick account that you can find the show over on Apple Podcast and Spotify. And we are going to work our best to bring you guys a new locals or new side scrollers podcast.com experience. Blabs, I'm going to be filling you in on that here in the next couple of weeks. I want to let you know I'm targeting August 18th. That is our 18 months on the internet. 18 months there, August 18th. I'm going to be targeting that for some stuff for the show. So a couple weeks from now, we'll be rolling.
August 18th is Sunday.
August 18th is a Thursday, Blabs.
What the fuck? It's not Sunday.
No, Blabs. That's 3 years ago.
Huh? I'm literally looking at the schedule. It says Sunday.
Let's say 15th or 18th.
You said 18th.
I meant 15th.
You idiot! You're calling me an idiot.
Hold on. No. This is what I said. I said August 15th, but it's our 18th month on the internet.
You said August 18th.
Okay, well, I meant
Arch,
August
back me up.
I have no input on any of this.
Arch!
That a boy, Arch. That a boy. Anyways, Thursday, August 15th.
He said August 18th, chat says.
I don't even understand. Anyways, look, we got a lot going on today. If you're new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. We are 7 subscribers away, 7 normal men away from 90,500 normal men who just love common sense in the video game and entertainment space. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button as we can get to 1,000 likes. Let's do our best to get to 25 memberships today. Hey, we have a new piece of merchandise designed by me this time, and we're going clean. We're going simple. Just like normal men like. We have a brand new normal man t-shirt with the Side Scrollers logo right on the right side of it. Just real simple. Let everybody know. Proclaim your normalcy now. The link is in the description down below. It is available. Just be a normal man. It's real simple. It's on a shirt. It's clean. That's good. I think that may be our official uniform moving ahead. We'll see. I want to do a full normal man line. So we'll get there. Because, hey, we're just normal men. So go pick up that shirt right now. Would really appreciate that. With that said, we do have a lot to talk about. So Blaz, please fill us in on today in video game history.
Okay, you're going to like this one. July 31st, guys. It's basically the Game Boy Day, and everything is 35 years old. We have Alleyways, Super Mario Land, and Tetris.
Blabs, hold on. Keep them up. Why would everything be 35 years old today?
Because they were all released 35 years old today.
Do you think just by chance that Super Mario Land, Tetris, and Alleyway were all released on the exact same day?
I'm assuming it's some anniversary. Did they release like the Game Boy or something 35 years ago today and these games came with it?
There we go.
I didn't see that for they didn't even put it saying Game Boy was 35 today, or else I totally would have added that.
Hey, that's some magic right there. That's some good stuff. Some video game magic. Arch, did you ever have a Game Boy?
No, it was too complicated. I was allowed to have a Super Nintendo, and that's the only gaming console I was ever given by until I could start buying my own stuff.
Then you became PC Master Race, huh?
Yes.
I know.
Before I saw the light.
You played over here, played with your little controller. Then all of a sudden, you just peeked off. Doom, Quake, and just slowly drifted away. I love that. I love that idea. It's great. Were you? Did you always have your, like, when you were a little kid, Arch? Did you already roll your R's like that?
Well, not in Norwegian, no. So that was a very different language.
Well, I just imagine, like, you as a little kid just kind of rolling your R's and following the light over to the PC. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome imagery right there. All right. So look, glad you're here, Arch. We got a lot to talk about. Very interested in your input on the Olympics. We've been delaying the Olympics for 3 days till you were on the show to talk about the Olympics. So,
oh, goody. Oh, naked blue men.
What else would we dream of?
Why? Of course. Oh man. Hey, but let's get us started off right here with some super chats. As Marksman came in, says Craig can help you workshop ideas. As for your 11th Dark Soul challenge run, there are also many complex types of plugs that you could use. Are you doing some Dark Souls content here, Arch?
And now I wonder if I should remind Craig about what love sense was.
Yeah, I don't want to know what love sense is. What was this again? I'm sorry.
This is a topic from when you were on my channel.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of topics that I just kept memory hold.
Yes, it's related to those.
Is it related to the butt baby?
Yes, it has to do with the butt babies.
And you're doing something with Dark Souls with that?
Apparently, my chat believes so now. And hey,
I'll tell you this right now.
they can believe many things.
Blabs, this guy down here, he's a freak.
He's not even denying it. He's like, yes, I am.
Boog came in and says, video games. Let's go.
Video games.
Let's go. Video games. Am I right? And then Marksman came back and says, also, has Arch ever told you the story about what happened to his previous co-host, Kibbs, the man who became a cat girl for money? Welcome to Archcast. Listen, I'll only dance in the rain. Right? I don't want to be a cat girl, but maybe some other time. Nathan came in and says, I got this mental image in my head of Kathleen Kennedy getting dragged into court by a strong, independent woman while Palpatine goes, ironic.
I love democracy.
We're going to get into that in a little bit. Nick W. says, what's your favorite sports movie? And my favorites are Sandlot and The Mighty Ducks. Oh, my God. I'll tell you what.
Cutting Edge is pretty good.
What's that?
You've never seen Cutting Edge from the, late 80s, early 90s? Ex-hockey player becomes a figure skater because, that's his only option to skate anymore because he's blind in one eye from an accident in a hockey game. And so he learns how to do pairs figure skating and actually win an Olympic gold at the Olympics. It's a pretty great story. I mean, it's fake, obviously, but it's really fun. And then Blades of Glory. Because that one's great, too.
Sounds really good.
Ha! Gay!
Blades of Glory?
No, your figure skating one. Anyways. No, I'm just kidding. Gear came in and says when the group chat got leaked. Yeah, thanks, Gear. Commodore fan says, are we finally getting to the Olympics show? Yes, we are. Today's the day with Arch. We're finally getting there. DV Wild says, I just have one question for the Big Arch. What toppings and sides come with you? People need to know. Yeah, I saw that McDonald's is doing a new Big Arch sandwich.
Yep, my official collaboration with McDonald's, apparently. Fries, definitely. That's the sides, obviously. Fries is the sides.
All the fries. It's good. Cripplehead says, with your hosts, Stuttering Craig and Stuttering Blabs. There we are. JM says, on Skibidi, NPCs will vex you for peeping waifu and video games, then cope about prunes groaning to cheese pizza. And I know this is all code. I get it. I just don't want to read it. Thanks, JM. Jeff Rammer Denker says, "Hail Arch and side scrollers! Thank you for all helping get through my day. Question: is Warhammer Total 3 worth it? Or Total War 3 worth it? It's on sale right now, and I'm thinking of taking a plunge." Arch?
Sort of. If you get the Chaos Dwarves DLC, because the Chaos Dwarves are actually quite fun, and they're one of the few factions that really have proper mechanics for them. So, yeah, on a nice deep discount, why not?
All right. Jonathan says, "Howdy, Arch. How's the first day of your new orbit going?"
Very well so far, thank you. I'm here with all of the other normal men. It's a good start to the new year.
That's right. Which, by the way, pick up your brand new Normal Man shirt, available right now. Right there. There you go. By the way, thank you so much. SMB, SS Fan, picking up the Normal Man shirt. Mimic also picked up the Normal Man shirt. And Carbon University picked up a Normal Man shirt. It says, "Finally, I can now represent normal men in public." Let's go. Mimic said, "Glad to see this one. I've been waiting for a Normal Man shirt, buying one for me and one for my 10-year-old son. Let's go. School starts back soon. Wearing this one a lot. Let's go, Mimic. Thank you very much. Appreciate that." Infamous says they're doing an adaptation of Like a Dragon for Amazon. Are you going to check it out? Are you familiar with the franchise? Like a Dragon? No, I'm not familiar with that. Are you familiar with that, Arch?
No, not that I can say.
Okay. Cajun Corey just says boobs. That's right, Cajun Corey. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you very much. And Norm Alman came back, says, "I'm hoping to see Ace Attorney levels of breakdowns from the Gina trial." Yeah, we're get to the Gina trial today for sure. Epsilama says, "Press F for Charlie's career." Oh boy. Constanza came in and says, speaking of Olympics, presenter of Polish national TV was suspended by lefty leadership after saying on air the Olympics rendition of Imagine is unfortunate vision of communism. Huh. That's crazy. You just get suspended by the leadership of the country. Well, that's crazy. And Rakatura says, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance came out 12 years ago today, too. Oh, nice. There you go. That wasn't all the Game Boy games. There you go. Good job today, Blabs. Nice. And Fear is the Mind Killer came in with a $10 direct donation. Says, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Love that movie. Yeah, great one right there. Good one for sure. All right. Look, we got a lot to get into today. We went into today in gaming history. But now it's time to get into my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News.
Hard News.
All right, Arch. So in your land, your lay of the land over there, we talked about how you don't have bears. What is the biggest predator that you do have?
Well, technically wolves, because we keep importing wolves, because we wiped the wolves out many hundreds of years ago because they were eating people and livestock, which seemed natural then to kill them all because it was self-defense. But then later on we decided, but wouldn't it be funny if we just kept wolves around so they could do that anyways? And then we started doing that. So technically wolves, if you want to do broader Norway, then technically polar bears. There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times, because otherwise the bears will eat you.
Have you ever
But around here...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Arch.
We only have wolverines around here.
Have you...
Do they all look like Hugh Jackman, or are they actually real wolverines?
Labs.
Smaller and furrier. By a
Man! Well, listen, if it was a bunch of Hugh Jackmans, I think everyone would be fine with it.
If I'm being honest, I think more people would visit Norway.
Exactly. But like, ooh, pretty.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really good thing. Well, I'll tell you what, this was interesting. Up in, looks like Michigan, or no, this is Rhode Island. Rhode Island of all things. This type. Do you know what Rhode Island is, Arch? You ever heard of Rhode Island?
I think it's been mentioned in the superhero movie once or twice, but that's about my only reference.
So Rhode Island is a state in the United States. It's like the size of my thumb. Okay, it's the equivalent of like some United States cities, and it's super tiny. But apparently, at a beach there, and once again, hardcore video game news here. Thanks, Blabs, for this.
You welcome.
There was a massive attack. There you are, of giant dragonflies. Number one, Archie, you ever seen a dragonfly before?
We do have those. They do get pretty big near swamps, etc.
Could you imagine? Like, this is straight out of The Birds, that movie, The Birds from Hitchcock. Like, just being a swarm of dragonflies coming at you like this.
I'm not gonna lie, all I think of is the reading rainbow dragonfly in the sky, like dragonfly flying in the sky, whatever it's called. That's all I think of.
Blabs, that's butterfly in the sky.
Oh.
Oh, no.
I could have sworn it was dragonfly in the sky. Shows you how much I pay attention to that show. I barely watched it.
Are you serious? Are you
Really?
serious right now?
It sounds better, dragonfly in the sky.
No, it doesn't. Archie,
Oh my god, I didn't take a look in the books, this chat.
Do you know, Archie, have you ever seen the Reading Rainbow theme? The theme song for the Reading Rainbow show?
No, I don't think I have.
Chad says, take my PBS card away. Listen, I watched Arthur and Cyber Chase, and that was basically it.
So Reading Rainbow, Arch, is a show that was on public broadcast television here in the United States. It was hosted by LeVar Burton in the 80s and early 90s. And anybody who grew up in the 80s and early 90s, and even up in like the 2000s, probably has a pretty good idea of Reading Rainbow. It had an iconic theme song. And this is how it starts. And tell me if you hear butterfly in the sky or dragonfly in the sky. Here we go, Arch.
Butterfly in the sky.
At no point.
I could have sworn it was Dragonfly.
It's literally a
I haven't
butterfly
watched
on
it
your
in, like,
screen.
years.
It's literally a butterfly on the screen. That's like, and there's at no point is there a dragonfly. The shot starts with a butterfly flying in.
Oh, I forgot. It's all right. But yeah, all I could think of was like dragonfly in the sky, and I was like, "Oh, look, it's real." But
I thought
not
you were
even
just,
that. We can't even have that.
I thought that was just like a clever like play on words. For
I
you.
was really thinking it. I was really thinking it was dragonfly in the sky. I'm like, "Oh, look, it's like the thing."
Yeah, you did great, Blabs. Good effort.
Listen, I only just discovered last night also that there's the 2 Angelina Jolie Lara Croft movies.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I thought there was only one. So years ago, I accidentally watched the second one first. Then I just realized there was 2 of them yesterday, and I was like, "Let me watch the second one." And I'm watching it. It's like the exact same thing as the first one, thinking I was watching the first one, and I was like, "What the hell? It's a copycat." And then I realized I watched the wrong one first one years ago. So the end. The first one was 10 times better than.
Don't care.
I want an adventure. Shut up.
Let's go. Just I'm going to transition to the next story here, Blabs. Thank you for that. Arch, we're in for a ride today, buddy. I'm just telling you this right now. Blabs is geared up. He's hosting the next 2 days. She's getting her crank rolling, baby. Let's see this. Woo. All right. Hey, Arch, do you know who the Jetsons are?
Yes, they were a very boring cartoon show on Cartoon Network.
The Jetsons were a cartoon show back in the day. It was a show in the 1960s, and this is George Jetson. And I saw this, and I thought it's interesting. Today, he would be 2 years old today because he was born this date in the year 2022. So we don't have flying cars. We're not living in space. And I think we've all failed at this point because, I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing that everyone thought like the Jetsons was this futuristic thing. And congratulations, everybody. We're in the future.
Well, we didn't reckon with reaching the point of technological stagnation quite so quickly, I guess.
Do you think like we have the technology, right, to have a flying car, right? Clearly we do. It's there. It's just been shelved. You think, right? Like we have the technology for that. We have the technology to cure cancer. We have the technology to have non-gas powered vehicles, like powered through water, and we have all this technology, right?
Well, we do have flying cars. Those do exist. They are in prototype stages, etc. But they do exist. Not quite as fancy as this, just using rotors rather than fancy magic propellant. But it also has to do with the fact that our technology has moved more in a user-friendly direction rather than a groundbreaking one. Because we focus more on making everything usable for a wide variety of people, the wider audience, rather than pushing the envelope of what we could do with our technology.
It's Labs, would you be open to having flying cars?
As long as X-Ray Girl isn't flying them.
Why is that, Labs?
Because she's Asian. Dude, I was surprised she didn't crash stuff, okay? But she drives fast, I gotta say. Anyway.
Oh my god.
She speeds.
I just want to make sure you get all your racism out of the way, Blab. This is good.
Yeah, when I was on Saucy and pretend to be X-Ray Girl, I like narrow my eyes and everything. Don't worry, I actually really love X-rays. It's fine.
Of course you do. Of course, because X-ray.
Gross.
That's the thing. X-ray can take a joke, and you guys can laugh at each other, and it's okay because it's not racism if you're just giggling at each other.
It's not racism.
That's right. All right, let's go. Keep moving on. Hold on. We have breaking news for Blabs here. It says it isn't really breaking news, but I feel like it's important. Blabs is freaking out this morning as we were told today would be the day of a major announcement for Epic Universe at Universal, the new theme park that is coming. Arch, do you know anything about this this theme park? Have you heard about this Epic Universe theme park that's coming?
I've heard about the other one, the one with Harry Potter things, but that's about it.
So this new park, it's launching in 2025. They're calling it the Disney Killer. Who's calling it that? Me. All right, they are calling it. They, them.
Are you a they?
They, yes, I will. Pronouns they, them, z. Her, shebang today. But they are saying this is the Disney Killer. Now, this theme park will have Super Nintendo World. It'll have the horror monsters, the Universal horror monsters. It'll have How to Train Your Dragon. And the rumor, or at least what we thought was going to happen, was they're going to announce the release date, the opening date for Universal Epic Universe today. But instead, they announced the actual what they're going to be building in the Harry Potter version of this. So all three Universal parks will have Harry Potter themed stuff. Look at Blabs up there, so happy.
I am. I should have realized it though, because it's July 31st, J.K. Rowling's birthday and Harry Potter's birthday. But I thought they would have saved it for when they do all the announcements on September 1st. So I didn't even think of this. And I thought they actually were going to announce the dates for like the actual opening, like we discussed on Monday. But this is really interesting because they do a lot of Fantastic Beasts here. And that franchise kind of died. So I'm wondering if they're trying to bring it back and like put on HBO or a movie, or they couldn't cancel because they're too far deep into this project. And after they scrapped the 4th and 5th movies, they're like, well, shit, we're just going to keep going anyway because we're 2 years plus into this theme park. So very interesting stuff. Here's
the thing, Blabs. There was this guy. Let me just kind of tell you a quick side note. People say, why do we talk about Harry Potter on this show so much? Let me tell you why. Number one, Blabs loves it. Okay. And I love listening to people who are passionate about things that they love, right? Who love talking about those things. So if Blabs is passionate about it, and her passion is going to come out, then I think it's great to give her a platform to talk about it for about 25 seconds.
Yes. We need to have the Harry Potter count like Razor said. You're a wizard, Harry. Ding.
I agree. Arch, are you a Harry Potter fan?
Only ever read like 1 or 2 books and then watched the movie. So meh. So
you did or did not see the movies?
I did see the movies, most of them, I think.
Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. This is the new portion of the world coming to Epic Universe, which they announced this morning.
We really felt that we owed the expansion of the Wizarding World.
This is the biggest thing we've ever built.
We're bringing to life Wizarding Paris from the Fantastic Beasts film and the British Ministry of Magic from the Harry Potter films.
The streets of Place Cachet are so alive with activity.
You're going to just be amazed at this beautiful theater.
We have the opportunity to actually travel into the ministry.
You're going to see what you saw in the films at full scale.
This is the most ambitious ride we've ever created, and it's an absolute game changer.
Now, there's a longer video here in Blabs. I'm assuming you've watched it, yeah?
I actually haven't. I'm going to watch it later for a video for my channel because it's 6 minutes. And I was like, I don't have time this morning.
I don't have time. Okay. Well, I mean, one thing stuck out to me, whether it's Harry Potter or not, the fact that they said this is their most ambitious ride ever. That's
a detail.
Yeah, that's a big deal. And there's some pretty ambitious rides coming out of this. There's the
Donkey Kong one.
Yeah, the Donkey Kong. There's
when jumps.
Yeah, Arch, there's a roller coaster that's a takeoff of Donkey Kong Country, the minecart, where it looks and feels like you're actually going off the track, like you jump in the cart. It's pretty cool. But you're not actually, obviously leaving the track. But yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts on that, Arch? Did you see the Fantastic Beasts movies at all?
Those were the bad ones. I remember that.
Yeah, so there was 3 of them, and they didn't do so well. But like the reason they didn't do so well was also because they were a bit clustered with the plot. It didn't really connect all that well. There was the Johnny Depp issues, J.K. Rowling issues herself, and Ezra Miller. So they're kind of destined to flop when you have so much controversy going around them. But yeah, I'm really curious what they're gonna do, because I know for a fact, they can't just turn around and be like, never mind on this, theme park, can't do Fantastic Beasts when a huge section of that is Fantastic Beasts. We'll see.
All right, let's go and move on. This is another quick hit, but this is just like a video game business quick hit, which we're saying like, hey, just keep an eye out for this. Blab saw this earlier today from our boy Destin over at IGN. This is from, I never heard of this company, but this company is deeply involved in the video game industry, and it could have lasting effects. This is a company called Fanatec. Fanatec's parent company, Indoor, files for insolvency. Okay, so who is this? What does this matter, right? And this was pointed out here. The brand Fanatec, this is according to their website, stands behind the brand Fanatec stands the Brain Factory Indoor, which is one of the global leaders for high-end input devices for game consoles and PCs. Our brand Fanatec is known for its cutting-edge technology innovation and high performance, service quality, and worldwide presence. Now, Blabs, who has this company worked with, and why does this?
So I've seen that they worked with like Sony, I think even Xbox. But they do like all like the steering wheels for controllers. They do the pedals also for like Forza Motorsport. If you look on that website and you click on products, you can actually see what they have made. It's pretty big actually. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this company and future controllers and pedals.
So their website says our products, Fanatec products, are developed in Germany, produced in Asia, and are sold globally through our Fanatec online web shop. We develop controllers, racing wheels, pedals, cockpits, and connecting accessories for the latest consoles and PC hardware. So the controller side of it, those of you who are in the peripheral stuff, specifically in the racing side, it's just something to keep an eye on. There may be some issues with that stuff moving ahead,
or maybe not, and everything will be like smooth sailing.
Maybe not. Arch, do you play any racing games?
Not really, no. I did buy a set of racing controllers for my dad at one point, because he likes fast cars and such nonsense. I can't tell the difference between most cars. I only drive one type, so simple.
The car that goes?
Yes. Okay. German specifically.
Just keeps on going. That's good. All right, let's go and move on to something a little more pressing today, and that is the news that broke yesterday afternoon. And oh boy, man, oh man, we've been waiting for this. Okay, so little background here. Obviously, you go back a while, Gina Carano, we're going to talk about the Gina Carano thing here. Now, going back to 2020, we all know what happened with the Pandy and her criticizing the way people who didn't take the were criticized in Hollywood and ostracized. She was ultimately fired from Disney. She sued Disney with the backing of Elon Musk, and Disney tried to get that lawsuit dismissed. Well, that was announced that it was not dismissed. I think that came down late last week. And now Gina Carano has listed the people that she would like to actually testify in her case over her Mandalorian firing. And this is spicy, man. We are talking about the star, Pedro Pascal, Kathleen Kennedy, the head of Star Wars here. We're going over to Bounding into Comics. Bob Chapek. I mean, this is like, woo boy. This is major news here. And if these people get drug up on the stands, I'm going to tell you this right now. This could be a freaking nuclear bomb to Disney. And it's not like these guys are going to get up on the stand and chirp, right? They're gonna protect their assets, protect them as best they possibly can. But this goes back to Blabs, the discovery aspect of this, the idea that now we can see the communication between Bob Chapek, between Kathleen Kennedy, between Pedro, and everyone else that's associated on these shows. And this is a very big deal. Arch, I would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, I'd like to get excited on it. I honestly suspect that most of the actually interesting information will already have gone mysteriously missing in countless server crashes. They could potentially get something interesting, because the big deal with bringing these people up on stage, of course, or in court, is that if they do get a hold of communications, they can cross-examine them on that. And if they are caught in any lies or any communications about Gina Carano's status and her comments, that could be very interesting, as it'll give us a deeper look into Disney. But honestly, I think they've already scrubbed pretty much everything that could potentially be incriminating, and they'll just shrug and excuse themselves, because Disney's already done this with the Florida lawsuit, where the people hired by the state of Florida to look into Disney's infrastructure were just straight up not allowed access to things that they were legally allowed access to, because Disney runs its own fucking nation.
Well, I think I don't know how that works as far as scrubbing things. Like, once there has to be some metadata associated to seeing things that are deleted, right? I don't know how that works, and I'm sure you're right. If somebody's going to do that, it's going to be a company like Disney. And Blabs, yes, I did change a setting for you. I changed you to auto adjust your volume, which may be what caused the echo. So if you can change that back, that'd be great. Someone mentioned you were hot, so I'd turn that on. But kind of let's continue on with some other potential witnesses that Gina Carano wants to see, which is, I thought this was interesting. Survival host Bear Grylls. This is a dude who been on the show associated with Disney for a long time, when Survival and the Survivor host.
Yeah. So do you remember why he was questioned and everything? Because Gina Carano did an episode and then they scrubbed it.
Oh,
I've actually seen the episode. It's not on Disney anymore. If I'm not mistaken, but Gina Carano did an episode with Bear, and then after she got fired, they scrubbed it. But it was released elsewhere. I can't remember where though.
Interesting. Okay, that ties into that.
Mm-hmm.
The United Talent Agency, who represented Carano until her firing. So yes, getting somebody on the stands to talk about that. The PR firm IDPR, who likely dropped Carano after she was cut from The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian creator, Jon Favreau. Ooh, boy, man. These are heavy hitters here. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. Pedro Pascal, former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm publicist Lynn Hale, as well as Carano herself. Now, they also included some things, the specific documents they are looking for, for produce for the discovery process. These requested items included Carano's social media posts, communications between and or among employees of Disney and or their subsidiaries, contractors, and other related entities related to Carano's social media posts. This is the big one here, man. This is massive. If they can get this, this is such a game changer. I can't even begin to tell you how important that is.
Especially because of subsidiaries. So ABC News, everybody.
Arch, they can't scrub everything. There's got to be something in there that they know, that didn't get scrubbed.
Well, the subsidiaries is the interesting part, especially with like the talent agencies and people who are otherwise associated with Gina Carano. There is the potential possibility that they received communications from Disney, either saying like, we're going to fire her soon, or like, if you continue to associate with her, we can't associate with you, things like that. Indirect threats, in essence. So tertiary communication is probably the one they're most likely to get a hold of. And see, the thing is, I don't know if this will be able to construct an actual legal case, but for the rest of us, it'll nonetheless be very valuable because we can then connect our own dots because we don't have the same standard as evidence as the courts do.
Well, you're right. And I think once it starts flowing out in the courts, it's really going to paint a damning picture. Obviously the contract, the communications between Disney and Carano's former talent agency and publicist and manager, what they were saying to each other, communications between Disney and other movie show producers concerning Carano and any damages Carano suffered as a result. Like, can you imagine if it came out that Disney was like talking to, I don't know, pick a Hollywood producer, Blast, pick a Hollywood producer. Steven Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
Great one, Blast.
You're welcome. I totally blanked.
If Disney reaches out to Spielberg and like, look, you can't hire her, right? Don't hire her. You can't hire her because this is whatever, for whatever reason. Oh my gosh. I mean, we're talking major news. Documents showing plans for Rangers of the New Republic series, as this was the one that she was going to have a role in. Documents
she
showing
was going to star in it. That was her show, actually.
Yeah. Documents showing compensation Carano would have received had Disney not unlawfully terminated her projects, including but not limited to future seasons of The Mandalorian, Rangers of the New Republic, and Star Wars films that were to include the character Cara Dune. Social media posts made by Pedro Pascal, Mark Hamill, and other similarly situated employees and actors. Documents related to Disney's treatment of similarly situated male employees and actors. Ooh, yikes. Documents and communications related to Disney's public statements regarding plaintiff's termination. Documents and communications related to Disney's social media policies for employees. Documents and communications related to Disney's diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, as well as Disney's decision to terminate or disassociate from Carano for the reasons and the reasons for that decision.
That second one there, by the way, is going to be the really strong one. The diversity, equity, inclusion programs, because they can't lie about that because Elon, of course, has already leaked their official policies on that. So there's no wiggling away. So if nothing else, Gina will almost certainly be able to prove that they do hire based on race and diverse metrics rather than merely merit, which will back up her own claims that she was fired for not being politically correct.
Well, this is going to take a while to do. Carano's
September
attorney...
25th. 2025. That sucks. A whole year we have to wait. Plus.
Well, okay, they're saying in closing in the filing, Carano's attorney ultimately proposed April 18th, 2025 as the cutoff date for the discovery process. So pretty much between now and then is discovery. And September 29th is a potential start date for her and Disney in person, right? So that's next year. Yes, long time. But think about all the things that you got to go through here. All the data, all the messages, everything associated with that. This is, I mean, it's going to take time. It's going to take months to get all this done. And that's what they're allowing here. I mean, we're talking September's the 9th month of the year. April's the 4th month of the year. So we're looking at 5 months of just digging through all of that stuff. Because Disney's not going to deliver any of that stuff until April 18th, 2025 at 11:59 and 59 seconds.
That's
because they don't
true.
want them. They don't want them to have an extra second until. So, it's going to be crazy as potential start date. And Disney's in-person, they estimate will take approximately 1 week and see a total of 15 to 20 witnesses called to the stand, 5 from Disney and between 10 to 15 from Carano.
It's ironic that this comes out like this week when I think it was last week there was a new Star Wars toy set released and they omitted Cara Dune's character, and that set should have had her in there because she was like the main focus of that scene in the Mandalorian show. So ironic.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. We are not a law tuber. We're not law tubers at all. But when that trial happens, we'll sit here. I'll watch it. I'll watch the whole. If it's broadcast, I will gladly sit here and watch the whole thing. Because I think that's going to be fascinating television, fascinating court, and fascinating drama. It's going to be spectacular. Arch, do you think she actually has a chance? Do you think that she has a chance of taking down the mouse?
I think she'll settle, honestly. And that's not what I want to hear. It's not what anybody wants to hear because there's so much interesting stuff here. But just like with Florida, I think Disney understands not only the liability in terms of like actually losing, but the PR fallout of this. Because again, you don't even have to prove in court that Disney has done anything wrong here. All you have to do is provide enough breadcrumbs for everybody else to go, oh yeah, this is obviously a shady company. So I would think that they're currently looking at their checkbook and trying to figure out how much they can pay her to back off.
So I think that normally you're right. I think that's the thing that Disney doesn't know how to handle in this situation is you have most people at this point would have backed out and taken a check for $5 million and been like, okay, I'm good. Right. You know, thanks for the fight. They would have paid off their lawyers and they would have gone off and they would have lived their life, sign an NDA, and there it is. Right. The X factor here, pardon the pun, is Elon Musk. This is his unlimited checkbook. And the idea, and especially if you have Elon Musk bankrolling your thing, Elon Musk is about free speech, right? I don't think Elon Musk would allow Gina Carano to settle. I don't think there's a chance in that, personally. I think you're right. In 99.9% of the cases, most people would settle. I don't think she's going to. I think she sees what's happening here as a pivotal moment, way bigger than the UFC, way bigger than the Mandalorian, way bigger than anything she'll ever do. I think this is her legacy moment. And if she settles, she'll be no better than anybody else. And she is fighting a fight that is so much bigger than her. I think that the idea of her settling, I'm sure it's crossed her mind, but it's going to be really hard because Disney's going to go after her. They're going to attack her, but probably physically at some point outside of the court, right? They will have people harassing her, trying to get her to break. But I think that she's fighting a fight that is so much bigger than her, and I think she realized it. It's going to be ultimately up to her if she can shoulder the pressure, and Disney's going to keep applying that pressure, and they're going to do their best to tear her down. So it'd be huge, man. This would be a huge thing. So we got to wait a year for this to happen. So
yeah, that's the shitty part, obviously, and understandably why we have to wait a whole year. All the documents, got to research, but it just sucks. You got to do the waiting game now. We're like, okay, fine.
Yep. Matthew came in with the $50 Canadian monies. Thank you, Matthew. Says Disney, the company, is just going to pass the problem on to Kathleen Kennedy, and they're going to wash their hands of this case. Most big companies do that. Like they pass the blame on elected executives. At least I believe that's what will happen. You're probably not wrong. If there's a playbook, Disney will run it. Thank you very much, Matthew. That is massive and greatly appreciated. Huge. And I mean, you're probably right. And then Kathleen Kennedy will get a payday.
I disagree. They've kept Kathleen Kennedy this entire time. She's got dirt on them. Why else is she still there?
Okay, but she has dirt on them, right? But they'll pay her a giant chunk of change to go away and take the fall.
Or what if she doesn't and she's like, nope, if I go down, you're going down with me. Can you imagine? Oh my god, it'd be such a twist. So fun.
All of a sudden she has a hero arc.
Yeah, no, but like she takes everybody down with her. It'd be so funny.
I don't think that's gonna Plasma. I don't think that's gonna happen. Just throwing it out there.
Listen,
Angela says it won't be televised because it's in federal court and they won't allow cameras. Ooh, then I will not be watching it live. Bummer. Thanks, Angela. Appreciate that. Alan says pull up the Gina clip of her at one of the weigh-ins before the fights, or when she bites her lip at the camera while watching an MMA fight. For the boys, hail sites. Get Krigler on here again soon. Yeah, I was just thinking about how we need to get Adam back on. I was thinking, I was laying in bed thinking of Adam Krigler last night because I need to message him because I know his kid's on the way. I need to let him know how I'm excited for him. So don't look at me like that, Blabs.
Well, the first half was pretty
gay.
So
as a man, I wanted to reach out and say, hey, I'm excited.
That's fine. The second part, totally understandable. The first part, you're thinking about Adam in bed, is kind of a little suspicious.
I wasn't like laying back like this.
Wonder what Adam's doing today. Do you think he's picking more mushrooms?
Yeah, wonder what Adam's doing right now. Hey, Flickerbox came in and says this Gina case is funded by Elon's money, so I doubt they'll be a settle. I think Hulk Hogan's case during GG. That's right, Flickerbox. Thank you very much. And Mercenary says Arch, part of the deal with Elon is Gina can't settle. She goes all the way or no deal. Oh, that's interesting. Is that public? Has that been a public thing here? Huh.
I have no idea. I hope that'd be awesome. No settling.
Yeah. How to Cat Greg came in and says Gina's case goes beyond just Disney. If she wins, this can help all the blacklisted in Hollywood for wrongthink. The tides are turning. I don't disagree with you. I think this is a much, much, much bigger deal than just Disney, for sure. All right. It is. God, it's already. Where does the time go, Blabs? Where does it go? It's ridiculous.
Through space and time, it's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yes.
See, it's such a shame you don't understand that reference. But you know what? Some of the guys in the chat will, and they'll be like, nice 10 reference.
You know what I understand this? Slippery Gypsy came in with a 50 Australian monies. Says, hey guys, what are your thoughts on full dive virtual reality? As in similar tech in Sword Art Online without the real life death, obviously. Do you think it could be possible? And if so, would you be willing to try it? Much love from Australia. Hey, Slippery Gypsy, thank you very much. Genuinely appreciate that. Arch, do you have any thoughts on full dive virtual reality?
I mean, considering VR headsets have basically been running in the same ditch for the last 50 odd years, I would be surprised if we reach that point anytime soon. At this point, I genuinely think we'll reach the level of robot girlfriends before we reach true VR, but oh well, it would be cool. It'd be really cool. I just don't think it's going to happen.
So, full dive virtual reality, just so we're all on the same page, because I thought this is what it was. I never heard this, never heard it described as full dive virtual reality. But as I read on the internet, it says it's meant to engage all 5 senses. So sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, right? I think we absolutely will get there. Will I want to be a part of it? Absolutely not. I like this wonderful thing that we think is reality. Right.
I have some breaking news.
Yes.
Play the thing.
Okay. What do we got? 2 times in a show.
All right. So this comes to me from Extra Zero, so I gotta shout it out. Bungie layoffs.
Oh, bummer.
220 of our roles will be eliminated, representing roughly 17% of our studio's workforce.
Wow. Okay. As bloody 2024 continues here, as the industry continues to be cut and sliced and diced and put over. It's like going to the meat market and seeing your favorite studios just slowly slice off a little bit of ham. How thick do you want it, sir? Very thick. That's the
How many people have been laid off all of a sudden? Because we also have Humble Games layoff last week. We have Bungie this week.
Yep. It's been a lot.
It's a lot. And I mean, it's kind of sad because these are people's lives, obviously. But maybe this will be good for Bungie. Who knows?
Look, you're right. And to be totally clear, we don't ever like to see anybody lose their jobs. Ever, right? Unless they work at Kotaku. But it sucks. And we hope they all land on their feet. I hope they use this as an opportunity to take their severance and build smaller indie studios, work with smaller 2- and 3-person teams to build like small games and release those and really get creative. I think that'd be spectacular. And I hope that they do that. But we'll see. So
there's actually some more here. So first, we are deepening our integration with Sony Interactive Entertainment, working to integrate 155 of our roles, roughly 12% into SIE over the next few quarters. SIE has worked tirelessly with us to identify roles for as many of our people as possible, enabling us together to save a great deal of talent that otherwise would have been affected by the reduction in force. Second, we are working with PlayStation Studios leadership to spin out one of our incubation projects, an action game set in a brand new science fantasy universe, to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development. Interesting.
That's a bunch of gobbledygook.
You think so? It sounds like they're just rearranging a bunch of people, making a new studio while still firing a bunch of other people.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. 100%. It goes back to 2020 created a tremendous amount of bloat in the video game industry. And, false bloat, and you're seeing a correction right now. It's been a correction that you've seen all year, literally starting from January 1st, where they let go of a ton of people. What else?
And then they still have over 850 team members building Destiny Marathon. But I really like how he signs his name with a lowercase. Little Pete. Pete. But yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's good and bad at the same time, I guess. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I haven't touched Destiny 2 in like a year.
Remember how hyped? Speaking of Krigler, remember how hyped he was
for Destiny 2?
He was so hyped, and then he's like, "This is the greatest game ever." Then the next week he's like,
shit."
Yeah. Did you play any Destiny 2? Arch? Do you like those type of games? Hero shooter? That's not a hero shooter. That's like a horde shooter.
Destiny. No, I can't say I've ever gone quite that gay, frankly. It's a little much for me, honestly.
Oh, sorry, Krigler. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Destiny 2. I'm not gonna lie. I mostly play it just to play with friends, but there are other games.
Bummer. All right. I see this new Xbox controller. Is this worth talking about?
It's cool. There's also a Discord and Xbox news also, like in the private chat. There's a bunch of shit coming out right now.
All right. So let's just talk about this real quick. This is a nice little quick hit. Here we go. Thoughts on this new controller from Xbox? I like the translucent look of it. You know what it reminds me of? Cortana.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, Cortana, that character who was cuckolded in the TV show. I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think of that.
That's what it reminds me of. It's the Cortana controller.
I think it's cool. It's a new thing. Transparent controller. You get to see everything. And I wonder if like stuff inside lights up. That'd be cool.
Probably not. I mean,
well, a girl can dream.
The transparent shell has been a thing for a while, but I always do like seeing inside the controller. It's pretty fun to see. So yeah, that is what it is. Okay, apparently that's not new. Okay, whatever. Yeah, well, no, transparent controllers are not new, but that controller is.
Yeah.
All right, let's go and move on. Thank you for that, Blabs. Okay. So look, we've talked a lot about this Mr. Beast stuff over the last week or so, and honestly, it's been exhausting. It has been just an absolute kick to the pants every time we talk about it, because you think of these people and you go like, these people are just so jacked up. And these are people who are entertaining kids. They were working on YouTube, and it's just an absolute mess. And I'll tell you what, this is a clip I found today. It's been passed around today. And I'll tell you, it really, really nails it. You know who Jacksepticeye is? You ever heard of that name before?
Yes. PewDiePie basically made him because he did a contest many years ago, like where he'd bring up like one YouTuber and he'd like sponsor him in essence. There was also the thing where Jacksepticeye attacked PewDiePie over the PewDiePie moment where he shouted the bad word.
Yep.
And that's about all I know about him. Oh, and he was in that movie with Ryan Reynolds for 5 seconds.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, this is a clip from a while ago. This was posted yesterday, and it has 4.5 million views. And it just says, this clip aged like fine wine, didn't it? This is Jacksepticeye taking a lie detector test. And this will all tie into what we're going to talk about here in a second.
Oh, yes.
A completely unrelated question. Do you like Mr. Beast? No. Jack. Oh!
See everybody like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Do you think Mr. Beast ruined YouTube? Yes. Oh. Now, in all honesty, Jack, why? Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun. You just don't think you have fun playing Squid Games? You think you have fun riding on yachts? Building wells in Africa? I don't know. If he had fun doing those videos, they'd be longer. We'd see the fun. Ooh. Thought you were going to get me that one, didn't you?
So here's where really this last 6 seconds is where it's like chef's kiss right here. And this is how it's going to tie into everything.
Who's the YouTuber you hate the most? I don't know. There's a lot of groomers and pedophiles on our platform.
Oh my God. So the question is,
a man ahead of his time.
I don't know when this is from. It can't be that long ago because he's talking about Mr. Beast building wells in Africa and stuff like that. And that was only a couple of years ago now. But so that ties us into what we're going to talk about here. We've talked about the Mr. Beast stuff, but there's more because pretty much one of the biggest streamers in the world. We talked about this Cenat guy multiple times. He's a magnet when it comes to his live stream stuff. Him and that iShowSpeed guy, they are dominant on the internet when it comes to live streaming. But Cenat has a cameraman, and yesterday he was exposed for doing some things that he shouldn't be doing, sending out some really rough messages. And I'm going to tell you this right now. These messages, I'm going to let y'all look at these because I don't even want to read these. But these are some, as Blabs is trying to read them right there.
Yeah, it's like that big on our screen.
Yeah, right. I know. I understand. And I got to be honest, you probably don't want to read them. You probably don't want to read them because they are
disgusting.
Yeah. So the minor was, minor who was 19, who was now 19, released screenshots that Chris knew she was 17 at the time. So he knew about it. So what's the response here, right? We saw how Mr. Beast responded to everything that happened with Chris Tyson. And he was like, it took him a couple days. And then he came out and it was a very corporate response. This took a couple hours. And Kai, who is, like I said, I've never watched this guy, but I'll tell you this, he does seem like he hustles. He's streaming from inside a U-Haul truck, which is just insane. Great bit, by the way. And this is his response to it.
Shit happened. And shit come up fucking name every time, bro. I get connected in situations. Come and relax, bro. Apparently in 2021, this nigga was caught talking to somebody that's not the age of consent. Nigga, it gets bad because she lied about her age. She said she was 19. She lied about her age. She ended up saying her age. Said she was 17. Right at that moment, you're supposed to stop texting. Right at that moment, you're supposed to drop all conversation. Anything that's below the age of consent, you're not supposed to talk to them. It is not cool. You're not supposed to talk to them. You're not supposed to do anything.
So he's obviously pretty passionate about it. And he's like, look, he says the common sense response. As soon as you know, you may have been lied to, but as soon as you know, it ends immediately, right? I don't know if I'm assuming that this guy's been fired, just based off of the response, but I don't know that for a fact. So if anybody does know that, please let us know. But it just seems like when it rains, it pours in this space of just, we've seen this acceptance of this nonsense. They're no longer pedophiles. They're minor attracted persons. Get fucked with a nail, because I got to be honest, I got no time for that. Right? Stop calling them minors. Call them children. That's exactly what they are. I don't know, Arch. I would love to hear your thoughts on just this whole aspect, because I'm gonna turn it down a little bit because I'm very passionate about this. Feel free to go crazy, Arch.
See, I think a lot of this is coming out in the media now, more or less, because there's probably been a lot of this. This seems to be the natural progression of large amounts of power and influence coalescing in one area, is that people come to the idea that, okay, we are omnipotent, we can do anything we want, we are protected, and then when you have removed all the taboos, people will go for other taboos. That seems to be nigh on unavoidable. So it doesn't surprise me that there's a fair bit of this in the YouTube space. There is also probably the simple fact that a lot of these people are up-and-coming stars, like they're blowing up and don't really understand the rules, and they will say dumb things and communicate with people in a dumb way, and some of them will be actually tricked. Like in this case, okay, let's assume that he was in fact talking to somebody he thought was 19, and they're like, I'm actually 17, all right. No fault in that, you were tricked, but then you do need to indeed drop that conversation. And credit to Cenat, actually. Like, he's the kind of person I inherently dislike because of his style. Like, the Norwegian in me dislikes the loud style of people. But he's dead on here, and he's shown far more actual, genuine principle in this, and a good position than Mr. Beast has, which is all credit to him. As again, the Mr. Beast thing, he's stuck by his friend for far too long there in the face of far too much evidence. And there's also the fact that I don't know how much you've covered this side of the Mr. Beast thing, English. But there was a video that came out talking about a lot of the video practices, the lottery stuff, how it was probably not entirely legal, and how a lot of it was aimed directly towards making children into his subscribers. Like, hey, you can win $10,000 if you buy my chocolate bar, etc. It's like, you've got a business model at that point that is actively targeting kids. And we're talking like 12, 13 years old here before they even know what's going on. It feels like this has somehow become socially acceptable within this upper echelon circle, which is not a good thing.
You muted Craig.
Spoiler, it is not socially acceptable at all. Let's continue on as we move from Kai. And John came in and says Cenat is doing what he can with dealing with this guy appropriately, unlike others. I hope he doesn't get put in the blast radius. Scorch Earth can go too far sometimes. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Black and Mild says, unless your name is Mr. Rogers, I don't trust anyone who creates content aimed specifically at kids, especially on the internet. Thanks, Black and Mild. Appreciate that. Let's go to our thumbnail today, our lead story. That is MoistCr1TiKaL. Now, I'm sure you saw this, Arch, a couple days ago. With the idea that this conversation is an ongoing conversation today is just shows you where we're at in a society. I just can't wrap my head around that we're even having these conversations. So MoistCr1TiKaL, a couple days ago, had a debate against Sneeko, right? and they both came off looking like idiots, right? Here is a clip from that interview or from that debate.
Do you believe that somebody can go through hormone therapy? Can they change their gender if they're a child?
I think that's totally fine as long as everyone is consenting. As you agree with.
Okay, so as long as everyone,
if your parents are okay with it and you are okay with it, I think that's totally a familial decision to make. Yeah.
Okay, so a child can cut their penis off and take hormone blockers and change their biology forever, but they can't get married?
Oh, that's a decision that now extends beyond the family because now you're bringing in a different party. So if you have someone that's your age coming in saying, I want to marry that child, I don't think that can happen under any circumstance.
So, but it's still a personal decision. You're still deciding. Because there's take the other party out of the equation. It's a personal decision. If I'm 16 and I personally want to marry this girl, she's beautiful. She's 21 years old. Her family wants to do it. My family wants to do it. You're saying I can't do that. We're both consenting. I'm ready to go. I'm physically mature, but I'm not allowed to marry because Moist says that woman's a pedophile. But if then the next day I leave it, I'm depressed, I want to cut my penis off, I can go right into the clinic, snip it off, and start taking HRT like Chris Tyson. That's a society that makes sense to you?
It is. I believe everyone has complete. Yep. I believe everyone has the right to do with their body what they want to do.
Oh. So
the ending of Sneaker. Oh!
Right.
So I think we don't understand what the term consent means here. I think is the problem. Because children aren't capable of giving consent because we don't think they are mentally capable of understanding the full implications of the situation they are putting themselves in. That's why we have the age of consent, etc. You're not allowed to break that because as a society, and this is an arbitrary line, to be fair, but we go like, okay, we have seen that 16-year-olds probably can't consent to this because they don't understand the full implications, which is why, you can't consent to being married, and you can't then consent to mutilate yourself either.
So the pushback on this was swift and hard, rightfully so.
To imagine, yes.
What's that?
I would imagine, yes.
Yes. So he came out and he did a stream, on I think that happened over the weekend, and then he had a stream yesterday on Monday or Tuesday, and he said, well, I thought that I thought we were only speaking hypotheticals. I didn't know he was talking in reality. Right? He was actually and he tried to like cover his bases, but it's one of those things where this is a guy that has over 15 million subscribers. We did the math on it the other day. It was like 180 million views a month, right? This guy is just rolling in money, hand over fist. He cannot succeed to spite himself until he actually has an opinion, because that's kind of the thing that people talk about with him, is that he's a perpetual line sitter. With him is he has fairly milquetoast takes along the way. There are times where he gets fiery, but for the most part he plays it fairly straight down the line. But it has not gone very well, as just a few days after he came under fire, he has now decided to take a step back. This is from his Patreon. This is Goodbye, Charlie. Hello, everyone. Effective immediately, Charlie has made the decision to leave the official podcast and Red Thread. He wants to go on an indefinite hiatus to scale back his time spent on the internet. We obviously wish him the best. For everyone to respect his decisions and for all to know that the show will always be open for him to drop by and talk shop should he wish to return. The official podcast, Red Thread, and Criminally Stupid are not going anywhere in light of this announcement. This is the podcast shows that he were on. Now, apparently he's going to continue to make videos. I'm guessing. It doesn't say anything about that when it comes to, when it comes to that. Blabs, can you please pull up his YouTube channel to see if he's posted anything? Because I'd be very interested to see because he was posting things yesterday. But something happened between yesterday and today where I guess he just maybe didn't want a live audience coming after him. Maybe during during the podcast, they were doing it live and people were coming after him. So anyways, they are, this has been getting memed on pretty well. If you look at the comments down below on X, this was a prophecy. Huge YouTubers are quitting, right? And then this is pretty good. Charlie dishing out criticism to other creators. Charlie receiving criticism. Just going to the corner and just totally cowering in this situation. This is also pretty funny. Tries to form an opinion once, effing dies. Right. By the way, great thumbnail right there.
So I have his account is Penguins. Oh, correct. That's
yes.
Yes. So this is him. He's not said anything in community notes, but there has been a video out 1 hour ago. One of the weirder games I've ever played. And that's it.
Wait, that's from 1 hour ago?
Yes.
Okay, so he has posted a video.
Correct.
Right. Will you do me a favor and let's go. Can you hear? While we're doing it, look at the comments. See what the comments say.
Friends.
Okay?
Oh, shut up, Charlie. He's like, friends. Anyway.
So apparently he's going to, but he's not going to post, be part of the podcast
on my own.
I still hear you, Blabs.
What?
Oh, we can still hear it. I just now, Sneeko, the guy he debated, has come out and made a little statement about this as well. Sneeko said over on X, says, MoistCr1TiKaL put out a statement saying he's quitting the internet after our debate. For years, everyone has seen cancel culture attack me, and I've never quit. My advice is to never take a break and never show weakness. Keep your head up, brother. So there you go. This is Sneeko saying, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Blaz, what are the comments like on that video? Anything?
They're pretty fun. It's just like, man, it's almost as if that Patreon post said he was just leaving the podcast and not the whole internet. News of Charlie retirement was greatly exaggerated. Just things like that. Nothing really bad at all.
So he's scaling back. That's
Seems that way.
Seems like he got taken a little bit of heat for this. And it just seems like one of those situations where for the first time, he had to take, and he tried to cover his base. It was all hypothetical. I don't know. You see this all the time where people take their step back. And I posted this over on X, but like DSP outliving another one. But I totally get the idea of scaling back in this situation. But there we are. That's where we're at right now with this thing. But we're not done. As we were getting ready to go live, we had another tweet from another creator pop off, and we were talking of Mr. Beast several times. And actually, I do want to pull up this individual tweet replies that I had with this guy. As I talked about this yesterday, but there was a post from Dr. Disrespect right before we as we were going live, of just simply this: him playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. And if you scroll down, people have responded here, and his response is little brainwashed woke boy. And then we have this one here. And he's really kind of going off. Says, good one, she, her. The internet will never fix your real threat, depression. Which, not going to lie, pretty funny. So Doc may be seeing the internet going up in chaos and maybe looking at a time to potentially come back. Arch, your thoughts on the timing of this? Is this the right time for Arch to, or for Dr. Disrespect to be potentially making a move?
Not yet. He needs to wait a while longer, because the thing is, Dr. Disrespect by the public, first and foremost. He was cancelled by the media, first and foremost, which have been remarkably silent on the Chris allegations and the Mr. Beast stuff. So if he was to return now, he would simply be targeted by the same people again, who want to go after him, who want to defend their people on this. But at the very least, this is certainly providing him with more cover. Like, he can very least now come back and says, like, okay, I got cancelled for, at worst, like texting to a person, and then maybe bring up some more context if he knew if they were underage, etc. Whereas look at all of these other people. Like, all right, fair enough, I guess.
I have a take.
Yeah, fire away, Blabs.
I think he admitted to texting a minor. He said so, and he said bordering inappropriate. So that's a really, really interesting thing. What is bordering inappropriate? Because everyone's got a different definition of it. But
right.
He needs to put out those DMs in order to clear this all up. But I'm disgusted how people, like, I'm gonna name drop, I don't care. The Quartern is like, the doc is back and not holding back. Are you kidding me? This guy admitted to talking to a minor, bordering inappropriate. That looks terrible. And then you have people in Twitter saying, let's see those DMs. It's like, yes, of course. But like, he admitted to talking to a minor inappropriately. So it's not as bad as like T-Lexify, who is a whole other story, or Mr. Beast's nut job, but it's still bad and it should be taken seriously. As people are like, oh yay, doc, the doc is back. Like, are you serious?
So people have been like, what's the difference between Mr. Beast stuff and Dr. Disrespect? Like, this guy, I'm going to kind of walk you through this Twitter conversation I had, and then I'll kind of answer that a little bit more. This is somebody who was trying to, this is a troll, right? This is us. We had the former server mod from Chris Tyson on the other day, and I said it was really revealing conversation. He said, I don't remember you being this upset over Dr. Disrespect. Why is that? I said, whose content have you been watching? Because it clearly isn't ours. He says, did you ever suggest he be wood chippered? He says, do I need to? Holy crap, dude. But if you feel I do, and it would make you feel complete, wood chipper. He says, yeah, otherwise the reason you want a wood chipper for Ava is suspect. I says, I call him by the name his mother gave him. He said, but you don't call Dr. Disrespect Herschel Guy Beam the Fourth. And I said, well, if you concede Ava is just a fake stage name, then sure. And he said, that's weak. So the difference between what's going on with Dr. Disrespect and Mr. Beast. Look, all we can go off is what we have right now with Dr. Disrespect, which is allegations, right? When it comes to Mr. Beast and specifically Chris Tyson, we have literally text in front of us. We have 500,000 messages via Discord to comb through and see what was said. We have people who have come out and said these things, shown the messages. We still haven't seen these messages when it comes to Doc, right? Everything has been built around allegations. Now, we do have Doc saying, yes, I spoke to a minor. Yes, they can be seen as, yes, it could be seen as inappropriate, right? And once again, there's a lot of gray area in there. There is no gray area when it comes to what happened with Chris Tyson. Zero gray area. The gray area when it comes to Dr. Disrespect is we don't know if the girl or boy, the minor, was 17 or 10, right?
But it doesn't matter anyway, though.
You're right. Well, hold on. Let me continue, though, Blabs. We don't know that what could be considered inappropriate would be him saying what Kai Cenat's cameraman said, right? Which was, if you read that, right? Or him sending like, I mentioned the Hawk Tua meme, right? That can be seen as inappropriate to a minor, right? There's big shades of gray right there, right? So that's where the gray is for me. And I think that if Dr. Disrespect was to come out and say, look, I spoke to this person, I spoke to a minor, it could be seen as inappropriate. When I found out they were a minor, I stopped, right? and then he shows chat logs, I think that could be something where the internet goes, okay, that's reasonable, right? As soon as I found out they were a minor, I stopped talking to them. I don't know, Blabs, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I'm very much minors are completely off limit on the internet, regardless between 13 and 17. No, because even if like you change the year by like by one, okay, no big deal. But then if you keep doing it, where do we stop? Where's the line drawn? So for me, absolutely not. Disgusting behavior, nothing. 17 and under, no. And 100%, we do not know what the context of, Doc's messages were or anything, but still he admitted saying border inappropriate. And I'm like, oh, what does that even mean? Like, I don't know. So I don't think he should have been canceled as bad as he was, because again, we don't have everything. And he absolutely, in comparison to Chris Tyson, T-Lexify, no, it's completely unbalanced. We see the things that are going on with those other guys we don't see for Doc. So I agree that he was definitely like absolutely burnt, but we don't really know what it was. So I don't know. It's a lot.
Right. And as Chico Tomate says, wait, didn't he say, why call them minors, call them children? It should be called, yeah, you're right. And you are correct. I've been saying minors because that's been the verbiage, right? But I agree, it should be children, right? And if Doc did find out, and there is proof that he found out that he was speaking to a child, and then he stopped speaking to the child. Now, the age of that child, once again, we don't know these things, right? We have black and white proof when it comes to Chris Tyson. Someone said, like, I clearly haven't done my research on Dr. Disrespect. Please enlighten me, right? Like, I'm just going based off what I have read, and I have done a little bit of research, but it's not like I spent my entire life, revolving around this. Look, as I said, if Doc was speaking to a child inappropriately, he knew he was. Same wood chipper. Absolutely. Right? But if he knew he was talking to somebody and then he stopped, okay. I think that if he stopped when he found out, I think that there's a way to come back from that, right? Because if the minor was like, hey, I'm an adult, and then they came back and they said, well, whatever. I think that's a different situation. Now, once again, Doc has been canceled, right, for allegations, for that gray area. He's lost sponsors. He's been demonetized off YouTube. None of these things have happened for Mr. Beast.
Mm-hmm.
None of it.
It's unfair, and I think that's what a lot of people are really pissed off about too.
Right.
It's hypocritical.
Right. Arch, do you have anything on this?
Well, that is kind of one of the big things. Let us say, theoretically, that they had both done the exact same thing, right? They're exactly equally morally culpable, right? In that case, my sympathies would still lean more greatly towards Dr. Disrespect for the simple reason that he was cancelled by the machine, whereas Chris Taylor was cancelled by the public. Because the machine, I care a hell of a lot less about its moral condemnation than I do the general public's.
Yeah, like I said, it's to see the response, from creators, from the news, from the media, like across the board, from Dr. Disrespect versus Chris Tyson. I think that just goes back to I just want a bar, right? There's no bar, and the bar's here for some people, the bar's here for some people, and it is what it is, which is, yeah. Goblin Chick says Chipper doesn't discriminate. He's just hungry. Yeah. right. So, and we talked about this before, right? Like, we use the term kids, right? I used this the other day with Chris Tyson's Discord mod. Like, he's 20. He is a kid. He's an adult, yes, but he's still a kid. Think about you at 20 years old. Did you know anything? No, of course you didn't. Like, yes, at 18, you are technically an adult, but you are still an idiot, an absolute idiot at 18 years old. Sorry, it's the truth. you're still an idiot like 25 years old, right? You're probably an idiot up until like really. You're, someone say at 43 years old, you're an idiot. Which I probably wouldn't disagree, right? But there's no difference between being a kid and being a minor in this situation, right? Verbiage, the context is key in this conversation. So, like I said, this is I'll be very interested to see what Doc says if Doc does anything in this situation. And it's like I said, there's I don't know how to cover this as we're gonna piss somebody off in some way, because like half the chat's going like 17's an adult, and it's like, well, it may be where you live but not where this conversation took place, right? And some people saying, well, 18's adult, well, 19's adult, whatever, 16's age of consent in Alabama, whatever. It just kind of comes down to where these conversations took place, and it's up to you as an adult to know the laws of where you are having these conversations. So there you go. All right. We've been talking about the Olympics for like 3 days, and we haven't got there. So let's get to some Olympics talk. Finally. Are you ready, Arch?
I am prepared.
All right. Thank God. Labs, can you please pull up the GB News article? Because I can't pull that up. I have ad blocker on.
Yeah. Which one?
The GB News one.
Oh, which one is that? Here it is. Okay. Well, all right, because the URL wasn't showing the name. Okie dokies. Oh my God, so many ads. All right, okay. Whew. I turned off ad blocker. Okay, Paris Olympics opening ceremony, Brandon, worst ever as viewers switch off from chaotic event.
Do you need to choose Blabs?
I guess so.
Golly. My God.
Apparently men's shoes, which, okay. I guess I wear men's shoes now.
Okay.
Anyway, so this thing is loaded with ads. But basically, I found out that a couple of articles were posting saying it was the highest viewership since, I believe they said London 2012, but that so many people were turning it off after a while. So I'm thinking that they were just really interested in seeing what was going on, and then they saw and they left, or other people were texting their friends saying, you have to see this absolute shit show. You got to watch this. And so everybody watched it. Because how is this like the most viewership? I don't know. So this obviously stems from and this has been talked to death online, but we haven't had a chance to get to it. The drag parody of The Last Supper, which was put in, and the organizers were like, it's not The Last Supper, but it's like very clearly The Last Supper, right?
Yeah. No, screw you. It's very clearly The Last Supper.
Yes. So we have in this situation, which it doesn't show in this, you have these drag queens. I hate to use the phrase. Here we go. Let's actually get a video here. This is from C-Spire, who because of this actually canceled their sponsorship of the Paris Olympics. They're pulling their advertising. This is what they put here. This is the shot of it right here as they started off with the big fat Jesus in the middle, and scaled back the fat Jesus DJ. And like, I don't know how anybody could look at this and be like, yeah, that's definitely not like how you could possibly say that's not the Last Supper, but all right. And the blowback on this has been, very, it was a lot, and it came very quickly. And this lady in the center here, she apparently wants to sue people who have been critical of this whole thing. Have you seen that story, Arch?
I have. I've heard it at least. I haven't seen like the direct things yet, so I don't have a comment on that specifically. But I do know that the Olympic Committee has gone around copyright claiming all recordings of this, to the point where they managed to copyright claim their own YouTube channel.
Yes. Yeah, their entire like they tried to scrub it. They were flagging things on X. They were flagging everything on YouTube. If you use their footage, they went on to like want to distance from it really quick because the blowback was there. So the organizer of this was this guy's last name is Jolly, and he's like a gay art guy in France. Like that's his thing. Activist, and that's who these people are. Like literally that's what their titles are. Well, the International Olympic Committee came out and made a statement about the opening ceremony after the blowback, and it was pretty much the worst statement you could potentially ever make. And it said, the IOC has taken note of and welcomes the clarification given by the Paris 2024 Organizing Committee regarding the opening ceremony. In the daily press briefing, the organization community said that there was never any intention to show disrespect towards any religious group or belief. They reiterated that their intention opening ceremonies was always to celebrate community and tolerance. The organizing community also said that if anyone was offended by certain scenes, that it was completely unintentional and they were sorry. Arch, if you were offended, you're sorry you were offended.
Well, here's the thing. Could you bring that back up for a moment, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. They reiterated their intention with the opening ceremony was always to celebrate community and tolerance. So they actually changed the Olympic Charter a few years ago, where they made it clear that there would be no political commentary, no agenda, no propaganda at the Olympics, which is a very sensible rule because it's the fucking Olympics. They changed that to allow for expressions of diversity and tolerance. These words do not mean what they used to mean 20 years ago. These are political terms now. When they say that they want diversity, community, and tolerance, that means they want progressivism, which is why you have things like this. And they always have an excuse, right? The white horse riding down the River Seine wasn't, the single soul white rider from the Bible heralding the end times. Oh, it's the goddess that the river was named after. Okay. This isn't the Last Supper. It has Dionysus. Like, okay, but I don't believe you. You are the same people who grew up basically as activists against Christianity 20, 30 years ago. And fair enough, Christian moral busybodies were really annoying. But they're gone now, and you're still rebelling against the same thing that hasn't been in power for a decade. They have defined themselves by their supposed victimhood from Christianity to the point where they're still taking the piss out of Christianity. I was like, there's no need to. Like, Christianity has quietly ceded its cultural position, essentially. Like, it's not the big bad anymore. And now just attacking Christians, it comes across as just mean and petty and cruel, frankly. And again, they would never do this to Islam. Could you imagine the Olympic ceremony having a float about Muhammad and Aisha, for example? Like,
there would be riots. There would be riots in the streets. Things would be blown up. People would be getting like their businesses destroyed if they did that. Mm-hmm.
I remember a stand-up comedian being asked, like, why don't you make jokes about Islam? And he basically said, okay, here's the thing. When I make fun of Christianity, nothing happens. When I make fun of Islam, shit happens. Okay, fair enough.
Don't forget, France is the country that has their teachers beheaded. It's true. It's happened the last couple of years because they said something bad about Islam.
Yep.
Weird stuff.
You're telling me this guy is petty? This guy right here? This guy is very stable? This guy right here? The queer artist, Thomas Jolly, directed. So going back to Gina Carano, she had this as questions. How did Jolly get the job for this in the first place? I imagine this job is selected carefully, and a lot of artists were up for the task. Is there a vetting process? Was the theme and vision explained to the Olympic community beforehand? There must have been trial runs and repeated practices. Who oversaw those and thought this was okay? They're now wiping and controlling everything they can on the opening ceremonies because it was received so poorly and offended so many people. But can anyone explain how he got the job in the first place and how it got to this point. What and who led to this disgrace and mockery? We should understand and get those names just to clarify, just to understand a little more clearly. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. And she's right. Like, who hired this guy? Who oversaw this? Surely at some point over the last 7 years, since this whole thing has been started to be planned, someone was like, probably shouldn't do it. I think someone
7 years.
Going to be, yeah, you know, just going. It is crazy. Now, the irony of this is the next day. This is like, hello, Jesus. The next day, there was a blackout in Paris, which was quite interesting. During the Olympics, suspected sabotage involved. Some people saying, thank you, Jesus, for their response there. But, you know, just kind of interesting thoughts. But let's actually get to some of the insanity that's happening in Paris at the time. As apparently, like, you have to expect that it's just insane over there. Like, you have people from all over the world going there to see the sporting events, from, you know, everything from basketball to handball to skateboarding, right? So naturally, there's going to be some theft. And this...
No, wait. Don't say naturally, because this doesn't happen in civilized societies.
Wow.
How China, Russia, there was none of this crazy stuff. Even London 2012 didn't have stuff as bad as this.
Wow.
There was no major surge in crime in Norway at the Olympics. I just want to point this out.
Well, I'm saying this right now. When the Olympics come in 4 years to the United States, I think they're coming to the United States.
Well, we're not a civilized society anymore, so yeah.
This is true. Good point. Yes. But look, there's a reason why whatever city the Super Bowl is in that year, Super Bowl is the professional American football championship arch. I'm sure you know that. But whatever city the Super Bowl is in, they literally shuttle in whores for the weekend. Like, that is what happens. Whores, they drive in for the weekend so they can make tons and tons of money, because they know there's going to be tons and tons of Johns, right? Same thing with all this. There's going to be tons of people there, tons of wealthy people there, and you know what? They're going to get robbed. You know, that's just the reality of it. But that's what happened with this icon from Brazil, soccer, Zico, robbed of 420,000 pounds.
That's
pounds?
British pounds.
Pounds, yes. Worth of items. Stolen.
In a
Oh, yeah, there
taxi.
you go. Rolex and dimes. I was wondering how they made off with almost £500,000 in items, but, you know, a valuable Rolex, some diamonds around it. Yeah.
It was in a taxi theft.
I'm just saying, like, I kind of blame that guy for rolling around with 420,000. I mean, I don't obviously blame him, but I'm just saying, like, you got $420,000 with you. Like, probably, just saying, probably shouldn't do it. But it doesn't end there. As more people, Argentina soccer says its Olympic training base was robbed before its game against Morocco.
Their entire training base just gone.
Roof. They went in and they robbed us. So there we go. Nice. So that's obviously, they have Messi on their team and a lot of great players. I'm sure
Messi's not on the Argentinian soccer team.
He's not? I thought he was.
No, did you not see his ankle? But first of all, I don't think he does the Olympics. I think the youngsters do that one.
Okay, I just saw the blue and white. I thought he was on it, because last I saw him, he won the Copa.
Yeah, Copa Americana.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. And then we got this one. We've got this Australian BMX star, Logan Martin's belongings stolen.
This was on the journey to the Olympics. They stole.
So van got broken into last night. Luckily, my bikes weren't in there. Although my bike bags were in there with some things in it.
People can't even get to the Olympics without getting their stuff broken.
But like, can you imagine though? Imagine if they stole his bikes, like his actual bikes for the Olympics. Damn.
Yeah. So Blabs, you don't think you think this is not normal? What's happening?
No, it's not normal behavior. It's France. Look what they put out for their opening ceremony. They have zero respect for anything except for the illegal aliens in their country. They just let them do whatever they want. Before all this happened, they were fine, right? Let's call a spade what a spade is, right? Anyway, I think the worst part is the power surge, and that's in the document too, by the way. And no one was talking about it on the news, but Paris had like a massive power outage because of the Olympics, and their water was so disgusting that they couldn't even have practice. Like for the triathlon stuff, their water was full of bacteria and overflowing. Like you guys can't swim, so you guys couldn't practice. It's like, what the frick? This is the Olympics, and you're having all these issues.
This reminds me of Brazil 4 years ago when they were, or maybe 6 years, whenever Brazil was Rio, when they were concerned about the bay being so polluted that they couldn't do the swimming in it for sure. I recall that. Yeah, it's gross. But there is good news. There's good news, Arch. Jesus Christ, or sorry, Jay Christ is on the boat. He's going to make his way. Do we have an update on if Jay Cruz won? I would like to think that Jay Christ has a good opportunity of winning the water.
Oh, I don't know. I would hope he did.
Well, Blab, do a little quick dig. You can find Jay Christ there. And Arch, I have some sad news for you, buddy.
Sad news.
Look. One of the best things that normal men look forward to every Olympics. Look, we got basketball, we got gymnastics, we got figure skating. Arch, what's the Olympic sport that you look forward to?
I'm already Googling all-time Olympic medals, winter sports edition.
Ah, you're a winter sports. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Because
well, I can't imagine.
We don't participate much in the Summer Olympics. Our only real hope here is like our women's handball team, and they already managed to lose, I think.
Handball. You know, I saw handball for the first time yesterday. My daughter was like, hey, cool. Yeah, handball looks pretty fun. But I'll tell you what, Arch, beach volleyball. Beach volleyball is spectacular. You have these dudes who are ripped up. They're jumping their heads above the nets, going crazy. You got these girls in their bikinis out there, beating these balls and spiking them. It's awesome. But they've taken something from us, Arch.
I think I've heard about this.
They added leggings. They added leggings to the beach volleyball uniforms. What are we even doing here? What are we even doing here?
It's sad. And just think about all the sand in there. Ugh, it's uncomfortable.
I heard about this because this was announced quite a few years ago that people were watching hot women do sports and being interested, and they were like, we can't have a female sport with an active audience. Ban this now. Fair enough.
I did find the results. I'm guessing the men's coxless pair. We have these boys right there, and they came in sixth place.
Finished sixth, huh?
Well, pretty good, but I mean, obviously not medals, but still pretty good for them. Regardless, the Olympics.
Need to train harder there, Julius Christ.
Need to walk on water faster.
All right. And then we had this guy. I didn't know about this till Blabs, you pointed this out. But this is disturbing, to say the least.
Disgusting.
I'm just going to let you read that, Blabs.
A convicted rapist, Van de Velde, booed on Olympic debut.
So what's this guy's story?
He is sentenced to 4 years in prison after 3 counts of rape against a 12-year-old British girl. But the thing is, this article doesn't even say if he actually served his time. Which is a whole other story. But then the thing is, okay, like this guy did horrible, horrible things, but your country wants him to be your representation? Oh, that's a bit weird. That's disgusting. That should be a big fat no-no for the Olympics. Like, if he served his time, leave him alone. Like, he's filth, but leave him be whatever if he's behaving since then. But, for the Olympics, that's your representation. Ugh.
Representation.
No thanks.
Well,
Pass.
speaking of representation, we got more example of men beating up women. And
it's legal.
Yes, here we are. We have two men who are in the women's championships. By the way, if you are a betting man or woman, you may want to put some money on MoistCr1TiKaL, who is a dude.
Dude has the name man in his name.
It says I man. If you are a betting man, you may want to put some money on them. Both men, this person and there's another person. By the way, yeah, here's the
Holy shit, that's a man.
yeah, that's a man.
And that's a tree.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
So, and there's another one from actually China that
Which
is
I'm
in the
so surprised about.
and they are
China.
both favored, ironically, Arch. Do you believe it? They're both favored to win the gold in their divisions.
Well, that depends on if they come up against the other men, I suppose.
So basically, all the real women get to fight for bronze. That's so sad. That's the South Park meme. Oh my gosh.
If you're a woman in this situation, don't you like
Hey,
don't
the
you
only
start
thing they
confused?
could do is all of them boycott together, but they're not going to do it.
I mean, they spent 4 years training for this, and then they match up. And that's
They don't even get to try it. No. See, because I know there's no way I'm going to win against a dude, they should have all just boycotted and say, this is wrong, and kick them out, or else none of us will fight.
this video is getting passed around yesterday. This is not the Olympics because they have not had their first fights yet. But this was getting passed around. This is a fight that they had. Obviously, one in the blue is the dude, and this poor little girl on the red is just, she's like, "What am I doing?" Right? Fighting against a dude who's just bigger, stronger, quicker, taller, longer reach, just totally getting dismantled. Now, the irony of all this, and by the way, when you look at the end, tell me that's not a dude.
That's
come
a
on.
dude.
Like, what are we even doing? Absolute evil. But I went in and actually looked up this person's record. This person in particular, this MoistCr1TiKaL. And what do you think? Like, this is an Olympic boxer representing, they are representing Algeria. Arch, if you are an Olympic boxer, how many, what do you think your record would be? If you had 14 fights, what do you think your record would be to be representing Algeria?
I don't know. I do believe he's an amateur boxer rather than a proper professional.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's lost quite a few fights, even to women, actually. So I wouldn't really be able to guess.
So, in 14 fights, this person is 9-5, meaning they've only won 9 of their 14 fights, and this is the top pick for Algeria to fight against women. So there we are. That's what we're doing right here. That's what we got going on here in the Olympics. It's just a damn shame. Blabs, are you with? Or Blabs got to go. She'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay. Yes, as pointed out, that's representative, huh? Sure is. Arch, you got anything as we? Oh, you know what? There's this last little bit. As this, yes, this last little bit right here from Paris Olympics banning Brazilian surfer from using a surfboard featuring an image of Jesus, which is there it is on the left, and it got banned. It says was banned for using a surfboard featuring the image of the of Rio de Janeiro's famed Cristo, Christ the Redeemer statue, In a now deleted Instagram story, the surfer revealed he was told 2 weeks prior to to competing that the painting is not authorized at the Olympic Games because Christ is a religious figure and the games have strict rules focusing on total neutrality. So yeah, about that.
Yeah. Oh, the thing is, this is the rules as correctly implemented. Like, yes, you are not supposed to have any political stance, no religious stance. It's supposed to be 100% neutral. And if that was how it actually was, then fair. That's entirely fine. But it isn't. This is repressive tolerance, again, in action, where you extend the maximum possible tolerance towards the progressives and go, that's not the Last Supper, clearly. Whilst you look at the guy with the Christian surfboard and go like, that's religious reference there, boy.
The amount of gaslighting that we see on a day-to-day basis in society is just shocking. Like, gaslighting wasn't a word until, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, right? And it has become such a ridiculous tactic, whether it's the media, whether it's organizers of events, whether it's like you see these things with your own eyes. And they go, well, no, you didn't. What are you talking about? I don't even understand. You're right. This is how the rules were meant to be relayed and put down. But at the end of the day, these rules aren't done equally. And that's why, I say this all the time. Like, this show is built around the idea of looking at things going like, yeah, that's not normal. And normal men looking at me like, you're right. That is not normal. Right. That's like the Olympics to a T this time around. That's not normal. There's nothing normal about that right now. So Blabs, you got anything on that as we close out Olympic talk?
It's honestly disappointing because I was usually very pro-Olympics. I always enjoy watching it, but I just do not give a flying fuck this year. And I find myself giving a shit less and less every year. So like even the Tokyo one, because that was a whole sham too, changing the year and everything because whatever. And then the whole Simone Biles thing too, where she was like, I'm leaving, I can't. And then she comes back again, like, whatever, man. And then the whole thing this year with Paris, get fucked. Their treatment of people, get fucked.
Well, I'll tell you this. It has not affected the ratings at all. Just took a quick glance real quick.
Oh, yeah. People want something to watch. There's nothing else to watch.
Yeah, ratings are up. This is crazy. 79% in the United States over the Tokyo Games, drawing an average of 34.5 million viewers over the first 3 days of it. So, people be upset, not that upset, So, all right, we got some support to get to today, guys. Thank you very much for said support. Let's go and fire away real quick. Actually, let me get to this. Scarfy says, "Can I get a shout out?" This is Scarfy with a $50. Sorry, $50.
No, just make it awesome. Just don't do what the hell Beardo does.
I want to let you know that I was doing that before Beardo.
Oh, well, he took it over, so now we gotta do something better.
Like 50. Oh, whatever. Okay,
I like that better.
All right. Scarfy came in, says, "Can I get a shout out for my friend's business, Global Keppel?" Oh, Scarfy, I'm trying. Global Copilot Technologies.com. She teaches IT and does cybersecurity consulting. We could use more normal IT men. All right, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Global Capello Technologies.com. There we go. I have checked it out, Scarfy. I'm sorry I butchered it. Thank you very much for that ridiculous support, and enjoy your boobs. Delta says, "Arch, how are the NFTs in esports? How has NFTs in esports gotten recognized in the Olympics, yet professional speed painting tabletop figures has yet to be considered, besides money, of course?"
Well, to be fair to esports, I guess, like Craig, you probably have a story to tell about your history and interest in esports, because I was really hoping that would be a big thing because I was big into esports for a while there. I loved like competitive StarCraft and stuff back during the glory days of Total Biscuit.
Yeah.
But it's just gotten really terrible and it's never managed to get out of the kind of like dented dug for itself. It's all League of Legends and Riots and MOBAs and like I don't really care about that.
You know what?
I feel like the promise of it was never fulfilled.
Yes, I agree. I would love to see. I have my own vision for esports, and it's not the way esports are done today, right? Like I think esports are best. Like I want to do like a couch co-ops esports league. Like I wanted to do a Mario Party like straight up league for a long time, or have a big competition, maybe like on Nintendo World Championships, that new the new thing that just came out on the Switch, something that like anybody can pick up and play, and all the games are really close and tight. I think that'd be super fun, but I just think of it from a programming perspective, what that looks like. So, but yeah, Sir Lurkington came in and picked up the brand new Normal Man t-shirt. That's right. If you're just a normal man, pick one up right now. Thank you so much, Sir Lurkington. Link is in the description. Let's go. By the way, you can also still pick up my daughter's Let Us Skateboard t-shirt and the American Pride t-shirt. We're gonna make those available for you guys. God damn it, I want a name came into the 10. Says Charlie used to be so based back when he sounded like he was one bad day away from pulling a Kurt Cobain, but ever since he got too successful and moved into his nice big house, he's lost his edge. Also, I can't believe that DSP announced survived another. Thanks. Hopefully you find that username. Unknown Freedom Warrior came in, says, I'm just letting y'all know Kids Online Safety Act has just passed the Senate. Ooh, there's a red alert for the internet. Communist level censorship of the net is incoming. Download anything that Karens deem harmful to minors. Tarnation Senator Blumenthal. Thank you. Delta came in and says people suspected Moist was always losing interest in the podcast shows. If you ever listen to them, there was always a top comment or two saying he seemed disinterested. Just sucks, quote, for his friends, as those shows seem like they will die slowly now. That's tough. Thanks, Delta. Appreciate that. All right, my mixer's acting up. It's okay. All right, well, Blabs, let's get to some super chats. What do we got today?
Okay, Mastagawa says, yeah, I hear myself. Charlie imploding was funny. Clearly not a high-level thinker. He can't understand that him and the other mental midget, okay, I want to make sure I said that right, can't have simultaneous bad takes. Bucket Historian says, Kibbs is not a cat girl. Aerith is the cat girl on Kibbs' channel who mimics everything Kibbs says. The Bucket knows. Bucket strong together. Club. Okay.
I understand this.
It makes one of us. T1 says, fun fact, there are countries in Michigan that are larger than Rhode Island. Oh, counties. I was like, what? There are counties in Michigan that are larger than Rhode Island. It's a tiny little place. Insane says, you will smell a Wolverine before you see one. There's a reason they got the nickname of skunk bears. Interesting. Grumpy says, Spider Pig is correct. James says, the Olympic ceremony stuff really shows that Slanai cults are real. Did I say that right? Slanai? That word.
Slanai, yes. Slanish.
Chica says, 2-dimension driving is hard. Imagine having 3. J-Watt says, Dragonfly in the sky. Craig, is she a tax-deductible hire, if you know what I mean? Absolutely. Mario says, hey, Arch, Games Workshop might pull the plug of the Amazon series. Guess only willing to go so far. Is that true?
So I had a news story on this a few months ago, which basically said that, okay, they've got a deadline up until so-and-so, I think it was June, to try and come up with something workable in terms of a script. They missed that deadline, and then they were going like, okay, we're going to try again. You've got now until December, I think it is, to come up from a script. Now, to be fair, this could simply just be Amazon creating, okay, we need a deadline, so there you go. And if you don't meet it, we'll just continue doing this until we get something. But they're clearly really struggling to come up with a script for 40K, and I get it. It's a masculine universe in 2024. I imagine Amazon is having a lot of problems with that.
Gear says, they, them as plural dumbs, and I don't have pronouns. Thanks, Tomas. And Tomas says, greater hamburger and our Lord and Savior, Arch. Gear says, the same Fanatec who recently got a QC drama. Interesting. Josh says, isn't Mystery of Magic a black-green government building? Part of it. Mercenary says, Charlie didn't start off getting children as his main audience, but thanks to Google, he ended up with them. I like Charlie, but I felt something off. The Worthy One says, honestly, I don't trust humans with flying cars. We don't know how to act with regular cars. What the fuck do you think will happen if we got flying cars? Lots of accidents.
The car will fly itself.
Max says, one word, discovery. Yes.
Thanks, Max.
I stutter. Thanks. I'm reading that one right. Mercenary says, oh, it's so much worse. They have hacked the Slack channels info from the hackers that they can compare to the Discovery, and it's admissible. Disney's going to be nailed to the wall. Legal mindset said so. Disney can't escape.
That is a good point. They do have leaked Slack channels, so Disney is going to have to be able to be like, oh, hey, yeah, we gave you that, and they can match it up, and if they don't match, that will, if nothing else, be something they can bring to the judge and go like, hey, this is weird, isn't it?
Charles says, Blab's probably tomorrow. Captain Bumper comes out on Mac 25 years ago. Meanwhile, Max Payne on Windows is sitting in the corner. I didn't pick Max Payne. Sorry. For tomorrow's. Tune in tomorrow to see what I picked. Crazy Cat Girl says, Blabs, have you seen that Chick-fil-A has a new summer plush of cow wearing a bucket hat? No, that's cool. The real Holtzner says, a flying car? You mean helicopters? Tech Support Gaming says, is Craig cheating on Jake Gyllenhaal with Adam?
No.
You're right. The house right says, Slippery Gypsy. I thought you were talking about V. Gear says, oh, yikes. But anyway. Josh says, so sad what's happened to Halo. I mean, to be fair, though, that Paramount show isn't canon, so that's more of the silver lining. Vaporine says, why is Blabs learns what femdub is in my recommended tab under this live stream, and why is it almost 15 minutes long? Well, watch it and you'll find out why it's 15 minutes long. The Worthy One says, Bungie gonna learn today. Gear says, how come Charlie didn't learn most Western YouTubers' mistakes? Meanwhile, Japanese influencer portrayed real American culture the correct way. It's like that now. Salty says, so it's third parties when marriage involved, but a doctor telling your kid the transition isn't a third party does not compute. Yeah. Orthodox Monk says, in the game of internet, you either win or you log off indefinitely. Bye-bye, Charlie. Warbreaker says, are the powers that be doing experiments to normalize acceptance of PDF files by exposing sacrificial lambs? Call me a conspirator if you want, but it's very coincidental, all coming out suddenly. You get a point. Winterfell says, Doc is playing that whataboutism card. Exactly. Ryoji, sorry, he's literally criticizing on Doc in his video Blab. So much for research, right? For a firm handshake. Gear says, again, the group chat got leaked. Again. Deadpool Kid says, the mindset of people is outstanding. Defending Chris Tyson, but crucifying Dr. Disrespect. It's like admiring Genghis Khan, but denouncing Tiny Mustache Man. Oh boy. Commodore says, Zaxby is still showing Mr. Beast ads. Why?
Yeah.
Good questions. They canceled Dr. Disrespect easily due to him being a straight white male, being nearly 6'5" next to every manlet. Yeah, it'll be interesting what happens to Kai Cenat's cameraman. He wasn't white. Sorry, Ryoji says, don't call adults kids. Adults can consent. Kids can't. No one call any adults kids today. Mean Mark says, there is a Facebook post of someone that was or in Hot Chili Pepper on a date with his girlfriend. We had a point accuse everyone PDF without looking up real facts. They said she's 19, but she really 30. Okay. Vaporine says, Craig, in your opinion, was Matt Crooks a child?
I don't know who Matt Crooks is.
Moving on. Chess Rockwell says, France really has no right mocking other people's religions and faiths like this. Just ask Charlie Hebdo how that worked out for them last time.
You talking about the guy, Matt Crook, the guy who at the...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, he's funny.
Yeah.
He wasn't... No, he was an adult, but at the same time, he was a clearly manipulated kid who was fucked up. You know, like what? Like you guys are taking taking things and twisting them to fit however you guys want to twist them. That's fine, right?
Yeah,
You
they're
can
kind of
be
good.
an adult. You can be an adult while still being a kid. Look around the internet. You see a lot of adult children.
Mostly at Disneyland lately.
Right.
Cole says, I've started seeing those kinds of posts saying Christians started to realize a lot of their historical moments are stolen from other religions, and it's just tiresome. Booga says, opening producer and fat woman are small hats. Okay. Gear says, Ceasefire is based while Samsung's still promoting this. Marksman says, segment is titled The Last Supper in French. And Josh says, the only thing I don't get about the Olympics controversy is that people expected anything else from the French. Well, no, I expected French culture, and it's pretty rich back in the day, but now it's just shit. Winterfell says, wasn't offended over the Last Supper portrayal, but worth noting that this was aimed prime time worldwide. Kids were watching. We had the she's and nude men on screen and very overweight people. It's true. It was very promiscuous for an opening ceremony and shouldn't have been. Marksman said, Lovins are very advanced toys cam girls use. Can even be connected to donos. Arch theorized that they may be advanced enough to play Dark Souls with. Oh my. They may. Marksman says, a further peek into his twisted mind.
I have an active imagination.
Olympics don't want us based in Christ till don't get caught lacking. Excuse my yapping, I'm from the South. Ends risen my mother tongue, no cap. I just had a stroke reading that, but thank you, JM. Gear says, Bellissa Sacré-Cœur, a tourism attraction landmark in Paris, trolls the Olympics by simply keeping the lights on 24/7.
Nice.
Something about a heart. Not really sure. Darian says, Craig, there was a blackout in Paris, but the only building that had lights up was the Ballista Sacré-Cœur Sacred Heart Basilica. Basilica? That word. Yep. Thank you.
The church was still lit up. Everything else was dark, which was an interesting visual.
Stay-at-home Hippo says, the Paris Olympics also allowed a guy playing a dress who in the past failed a gender test compete in women's boxing. It was horrendous to watch. The actual woman couldn't even fight back. Yeah, it's sad. It's a shame. Benjathan says, nationalist blabs for La Victoria. Hi, normal man. if I'm a nationalist just by thinking that we should all have our own culture and not have it tarnished and everyone just chill, sure, whatever. Gear says, the cringe is beyond belief. Suja says, Craig, if you want to see the best, the fastest paced and oldest sport on the planet, Irish hurling. No, not drinking and puking. It's great. What is that?
I'll look it up. Hold on.
Irish hurling. Interesting. Orthodox Monk says, the earliest Olympics were used to discuss politics and political military alliances. So yes, the Olympics has always had politics affiliated with them. Skype the Strange says, you'd think France would highlight Joanne d'Arc riding over the last story era. Like I said, they have a lot of history and they didn't do anything. Anyway, Benjathan says, either a man or has a type of XY fallacy where the Y chromosome is defective to an extent. Could have a uterus, but with testes instead of ovaries. Okay. Thank you, Benjathan.
You want to see some Irish hurling?
Yeah.
Here we go. So,
there's like a bunch of sports in one.
Yeah. Or it's just Irish hurling. You ever seen this before, Arch?
No, but I mean, I enjoy the use of sticks, I guess.
All right.
All right, cool, nice. All right, thanks.
Commodore says, don't forget the cardboard beds in Paris. Yes, did you hear about that? Their beds are made out of cardboard for the Olympic team. But no, I think that's an older thing. Like a lot of other Olympics did that too, where they did like some type of really light material. But the problem was that there's no ACs. And so a lot of the team play, like the Olympians are dying from heat, so they can't sleep and stuff. So they have to go and buy their own ACs. Amazing. Gear says, Blabs is spot on, Craig. The Paris Olympics is a South Park episode. I hope disqualified countries and athletes will make their version of Olympics. Probably not, though. Honey Badger says, forces need to overthrow a tyrannical government or stop a dude beating up chicks. Rebound says Christians could use a modern knightly order because they won't defend themselves. If you do not have a sword, sell your cape and buy a sword. Or borrow arches. Dark Resurrect says, Barchimus, have you heard any more rumors from the Amazon 40K show? The mill is saying that has been canned. Well, we just covered that, but thank you for the 20. Arch, anything else?
Thank you, Dark Resurrect.
No, it's still going through the process of seeing if they can actually write something for it.
Here you go. Stay-at-home Hippo says a female track runner was told not to praise God during her win, so she said God was the truth in sign language. Had to censor the big make upstairs. Wow. Can't even do that. Mythical Fool, but you can go and wave the Nazi sign in the freaking stadiums for when Israel's playing. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Mythical Fool says, praise the bucket, hail Arch and normal men. I guess I'm the bucket. D Guardian says, Barch will turn Craig into a ship girl. Prepare your Ijin Yamashiro cosplay. What? Anyway. And then Benjathan says, say it with me, Blabs. Basilica, I think. Also dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, you heathen. Guess I'm a heathen.
Heathen.
Okay. Heathen.
Heathen. That's right. Hey, Florian came in and picked up the brand new Normal Man shirt right there. Pick it up. There you go. Look at that right there. Just a normal man. It's like the new uniform of the show. You got the logo on the right shoulder. I like that right there. Just simple, clean, ready to go. Also, Joe Tun came in over on Rumble, says, keep up the great work, side scrollers. Hey, thank you very much. And Kite, the Twin Blade, says, Arch, I've wanted to visit Norway for a while. My ancestors came from Norway and had a farm in Stavanger for a long while. What visit? Question mark. Is there a good time of the year for Prekistolen? And I make painful folly. Where can I send you one? HNEFATAFL.
Prekistolen, I'm presuming, is where he wants to visit. Summer or autumn would be best. Probably not winter, but summer, autumn, spring. Spring could work. It'll be wet, but yeah.
All right. Hey, I don't even know what. Like, I love that I tried to pronounce that and I butchered it horribly, and you just got to rolled right off your tongue, which is great. All right, Arch, man. Well, thanks for hanging with us a little longer today.
This is Quidditch with protection gear, right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, man. It looked pretty awesome.
Orthodox Monk says, if you have seen Luck of the Irish, you saw hurling.
There we go. All right. Okay, Arch, tell everybody where they can find you, my friend, on a day-to-day basis, and all the fun stuff you want us to promote for you.
Well, I do actually have a thing even this week, as I recently did a video on why we need Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent more than we need Batman and Superman, because we need more humanity in storytelling. So you can find that over on my Archcast channel.
All right. Nice. Good stuff. All right. Well, you guys head over to the Archcast channel. Link to that is in the description. We'll also put it in the chat for you guys to go check out. Look, I'm going to be gone the next couple days. Blab's going to be guiding the ship with a great cast of friends. It's my 15th anniversary, so I'm taking my wife out on the town, baby. So going to take a couple days away. Treat Blab's nice. I know you guys will. She's going to do a great job. Blab's going to do great.
We'll see.
Okay, sounds good.
It's like driving the Titanic into an iceberg.
All right, way to bestow lots of confidence in me, Blabs. Great stuff. All right, have a great rest of your day, guys. I will see you guys on Monday. Blabs will see you tomorrow, and you guys can find Arch over on his channels. Once again, links in the description. But remember, people are going to try to keep it down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much for your support. We cannot do without you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Fertility.